Alright, so today I have a lot of thinking to do. I feel like I'm at the point with the van where, aside from the bigger picture things like putting wood and whatever I plan on covering up the walls with, and putting whatever wood I plan on putting on the ceiling, the actual like cosmetic stuff, the face I plan on putting on the cabinets down here, aside from the big picture stuff like that, I feel like I just have a bunch of small-ish things to do with the van. For instance, I already did this, but I put a small plank of wood on the frame of the van right there so I could attach that outlet right there. I put this small piece of wood in between the cabinets right here so that I can sit the microwave that I plan on putting in there. Aside from that stuff, I have a little bit of wiring work to do with connecting the pump, and I want to put this switch in here so that I can turn on and off all of the 12-volt power to the van at once in case I ever need to do that. I have a bunch of small things that I need to do, and it feels just a little bit overwhelming because it's a lot of stuff, but it's all small. So I feel like I'm going to try to just think about what are all the little things and then just tackle them one at a time. So I think what I want to do today is do more work on the 12-volt electrical stuff, and over here on the fill valve for the water tank, I plan on putting in this garden hose fitting so that I can connect this right here, and then at any place that has a garden hose or something like that that I can use to fill up my water tank, I can easily just connect the garden hose right here and fill up the tank. But this is obviously not threaded at all, and this is a 1/2 inch MIP threaded piece. So to try to bridge the gap between the two of them, I 3D printed this little fitting thing right here. So the idea is that this side will just slide on like that, right over this tube thing. I don't even know if this is like a standard size or something, but this will slide right over that, and then the 1/2 inch piece on this will just fit right in like that. And then I just need to glue both sides of this down and make them nice and watertight, and this won't be going anywhere. A little bit of work with the electricity, some stuff I need to screw in, a bunch of little things. So I'm just going to try to get those things out of the way and start working on them. So that's my goal for today. I ran to the hardware store again and picked up a couple things for this. So I ordered these LED lights, and I also ordered this dimmer switch for them. So I've been fiddling around with the wiring here, and let me show you what I've done. So when I turn this dimmer switch, like so, you can see that the light illuminates. And if I keep turning it, it gets brighter and brighter. See? Pretty cool, huh? Just turn it back down. It's hard to do with one hand. And then it turns right back off. So these are the lights that I will have in the ceiling, probably 6 of them, 2, 2, and 2. So I'm pretty happy that I have this wired up and it works. So I know what to do with this when I'm ready to wire it together and put it in. I'm gonna undo this, put it to the side, and whenever I am ready to put that in officially, I know it works and I know what to do. Alright, so I want to very soon put up these struts on the top of the van that I will mount my solar panels onto. So I went and grabbed a ladder, and I want to kind of look at the top of the van and show you a few things about it and what I'm thinking. Alright, so here we are at the top of my van. See these little rings right here? I'm pretty sure these can be taken off, and under this is either a hole or it is threads for a bolt. I'm pretty sure it's threads for a bolt, but I haven't looked at it yet to double check. I think these are M8 sized threads, and I have some M8 bolts, so I'm pretty sure I can take these off and then use those bolts that I bought to connect into the frame of the van, and I can put my struts up here that I will lay the solar panels onto and connect to. So I'm going to take this off and show you what it looks like. Okay, it's really bright outside right now, and I cannot see the picture on the camera, so hopefully that you can actually see this. I'm gonna take this little screwdriver and just kind of slide right under this. Okay, let me show you. Okay, let's see. I don't know if you can see that. It's really bright out, but there is a threaded hole in there, so I can put some kind of a bolt down there. So I am going to take the bolts that I bought and see if they fit in there nice and snug. And if they do, perfect. And if they don't, oh well, we'll see. I think they'll fit. Okay, so I'll be right back. All right, so I have here a 80 millimeter long M8 bolt, which, if I look at this, 80 millimeters might not be long enough because the van curves this way. So I need it to be tall enough that I can set something straight across, but it might be tall enough. Can I screw this in with this? No. But this is going in, so these are correct, I'm glad. So I can use this. I wonder if I can see that on the inside of the van. Not really. I have these bolts, but I need to go back to the hardware store at some point and find struts that are 8 feet long. So that is my goal for, maybe not right now, but another day. I'm gonna take this. Yeah, okay, this is good progress. So I think I know what I need to do for the struts on the top of the van. So I will, in the future, catch you up on that when I actually get the struts and I'm ready to put them in. All right, it is a new day and I am ready to, I think, fill the water tank and test my running water system. So I have a garden hose outside of my house over here that I plan on dragging over here, connecting right here. Hopefully this thing stays. I glued it down. Hopefully it stays. I really hope it doesn't pop out, but I put a ton of glue in there, so I'm hoping it stays. But I'm gonna try to fill the water tank, at least maybe halfway, maybe not all the way, but I'm gonna put some water in here and see if I can't turn on the pump and get some running water going. So I'm gonna do that right now. So it turns out the hose that we have doesn't actually have a female fitting at the end of it, so I'm gonna have to fill this up in a way that's kind of obnoxious. I'm gonna have to put the nozzle on here and just spray. So this might be kind of messy, but I think it's what I have to do. So let's hope this isn't the worst idea ever. So now that I have like 4 or 5 gallons in my tank now, what I want to do is turn on the 12 volts so that the pump is operational and try turning on one of the faucets and see if water comes out. And if water comes out and I don't see any leaks going around, then I am big happy. Big happy for today. So fingers crossed that there's no leaks. So this wiring right here is going down and below into the water pump that's down there. These are the wires that are going to the battery. So once I connect these, the pump should have power. I don't think it'll turn on instantly. I really don't know what it'll do. But once the pump has power, I should be able to turn on one of the faucets and have water. So I hear noise. So to hear the pump, it's doing something. I don't know if it's just kind of like pushing a little bit of water through the system right now or what. Turning the water on. I see a tiny leak right there. What I want to do now is try turning this on. And I got nothing. Okay. Okay, so it is now an hour or two later, and I've made some pretty big changes to my setup here. One of the things I realized was the way I had the drain set up right here, it used to be right here, it wasn't going to work. I was hoping I could just use gravity to drain the tank, but I didn't have an easy way to route the pipe, or the tube, or whatever you want to call it, away from the tank in a way where it always stayed below the nozzle right here. Because for the gravity draining to work, I would have had to do that, but I didn't have access to that. So draining the tank was actually a big pain because I needed to drain the tank so that I could make some changes to the fittings because I needed to address little leaks. I took some time, I drained the tank, it was a big pain, and I've made some modifications to how this is going to work. So the way this works now is I have a fitting that goes immediately to this valve right here. So this valve will control water coming in and out of the tank. So I have that set off right now. It's going to go through this pipe straight to the pump and the accumulator. And then after the pump, I have the drain valve now. And then immediately after this T-junction is another valve. So the way this will work is when I want the system to run, I will turn on this valve, I will turn off this valve, and I will turn on this valve. That way water can flow through the tank, out through this valve, to the rest of the system. If I want to drain the tank though, I can take this valve, turn it off, take this valve, turn it on, and now when the pump runs, water will be redirected instead of going through the system, out of the van, and it should work. So I'm going to try this now, and I'm going to hope it works. Plug it back in. Like so. Now hopefully we get water. I am confused. If I turn this on, what happens? Nothing. So it is the next day, and I cannot get this pump to output anything stronger than this. Just a weak little stream of water coming out. I'm starting to think that the issue is the pump itself, and that for whatever reason it's defective. I don't know. I'm thinking at this point what I probably need to do is go to an RV store or something and try to buy a new pump and see if the new pump works. And if it does, then the problem is actually this pump. Because I've scoured my design and the fittings and everything, and I don't see anything wrong with what I've done. And I don't see anything online that's going to be helpful for me to figure out why this isn't working. So I think I need to take this thing, try to replace it, and see if a new pump works better. I guess that's the state of things with the running water, which is kind of disappointing, kind of sucks, but hey, as long as I'm one step closer to getting it working. So that sucks, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Instead, I guess what I'll do is continue working on my drawers and all the other things that I can. And I'll deal with this later, because I'm sick and tired of doing the plumbing. I've learned I hate plumbing. So I'll deal with this later.